plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
And now, tales of another way. How long can one go on with the same scent of shower soap? Sure, sandalwood is your signature aura, but today you went tropical essence. Glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes another way is the better way, like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Tolling begins September 29th. Save $2 per toll with a Good-to-Go pass. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
7:43 now. Let's head over to Sully at the traffic desk.
And we're up to a 40-minute delay, double the normal travel time on northbound 405 between Renton and Bellevue. Got a conked-out sweeper that is blocking the right lane just after 44th, not quite up to Coal Creek Parkway, and we are solid, like not moving, all the way back before 167. Hour and 10-minute trip from Renton to Bellevue, as I said, 40-minute worth of a delay. And the spillover onto northbound 167 is really bad from basically 212th and Kent, and then you have the normal stuff in Auburn plus the stuff down in Sumner, and you've got about an hour and 10-minute trip from Puyallup to Renton. 35 of those minutes are from Auburn, so not exactly a great drive there. A lot of people are starting to feel this and bailing over to I-5, so we're starting to see a lot more action from Federal Way up through the Kent-Des Moines Road. Plus, we have brake lights in the top of the Duwamish curve, plus the normal stuff at the West Seattle Bridge. Hour and 15-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle. Well over an hour and 10 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, with the brake lights primarily there away from Linwood. Also seeing heavy slowing on westbound 2 approaching the east end of the trestle. 204 caught up in that as well. Brake lights in both directions of 512 westbound at I-5, eastbound down the South Hill, and eastbound 16 is really struggling getting past 19th there by Cheney Stadium. This traffic report brought to you by Superior Linen Service, 98 years servicing quality uniforms, floor mats, linens, and more. Call Superior Linen Service. They answer the phone, or visit suplinen.com.
We're starting to see some sunshine. It's going to be a nice afternoon, about 73 with sunny skies. And then tomorrow and Friday, just a tad cooler, about 71 both days. Peaks of sunshine, scattered clouds. Saturday looks like about 75, and then some showers expected for Sunday morning. And we'll cool back down to about 71. Right now in Seattle, partly sunny and 58.
7:45 now. If you're doing a double take at this morning's gas prices, you're not alone. We've got Jillian Raftery here to explain.
Washington's average for a gallon has gone up 6 cents since yesterday.
Sully's really happy about that, too.
Yeah.
And prices are up more than 16 cents in just a week. The average in our state, of course, is one of the highest in the nation at $4.54. Compare that to $3.18 nationally. Okay, so why? Because the national average has only gone up 3 cents in the last week. The West Coast has a bunch of refineries that are operating at lower capacity because of maintenance. That means supply down, demand the same, so the price goes up. But there's some hope for a little relief. The so-called winter mix of gas will be out in about a week. It's less expensive to produce, so you should get at least a little break soon.
A little break.
A little.
And let's not forget our good friend, the CCA, adding up to 50 cents
I was
a
waiting
gallon
for you to chime in.
that we don't have in Oregon, which has those same refineries on limited capacity.
That's
There you
right.
go.
So, hooray!
Coming up, Russian drones over Poland. A message from Vladimir Putin to Ukraine saying he won't back down. We'll break it down with retired Lieutenant General Richard Newton next on Seattle's Morning News.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these 3 books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Is your car road trip ready? Don't get stranded. Get to Bucky's Complete Auto Repair. Bucky's has been preparing cars, trucks, and SUVs for safe, worry-free travel for over 50 years. We take care of your car with experience and good old-fashioned customer service. For all your oil changes, brakes, AC charging, and factory maintenance, choose Bucky's. No appointment needed, and yes, friendly financing is available. Visit Bucky's.com. Bucky's, where your car feels right at home.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
KIRO Newsradio has your chance to win 4 tickets to the Seahawks game on Sunday, September 21st. Head to the KIRO Newsradio app, click the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter through the KIRO Newsradio app, the better your odds will be. So do it every day, September 9th through September 15th. Details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win. From the station where the 12s hear the Hawks, KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 7:49, and for the first time since the war between Russia and Ukraine began, the violence has spread beyond the borders of the two nations as Russian drones were invading Polish airspace yesterday.
Joining us now to break it down and what it all means for the war in Ukraine is retired Lieutenant General Richard Newton, a national security contributor for News Nation. General, good morning. Can you just explain exactly what happened with this drone incursion in Poland?
Well, good morning, Amanda. Good to be with you and Charlie again. First off, bottom line is this is really, it's reckless and frankly unprecedented. Up to nearly 24 drones went into Polish airspace and were shot down by 2 NATO aircraft, one from the Netherlands and the other from Poland. There could have been other aircraft involved as well, but this is a dangerous situation. And as Russia commits its forces in a way that the largest drone and missile attacks since the beginning of the war actually occurred over the weekend, Amanda. And apparently what happened less than 24 hours or so ago was some of these drones actually went into Polish airspace. Some reported that they actually had gone from Belarus, crossed over Ukraine, and it hit the Polish border. And it was the deepest penetration of Russian drones inside of Poland to date. So it's quite a serious situation.
Why is it so much more serious if a Russian drone, for example, attacks Poland than it would be in Ukraine, at least in U.S. interests?
Well, first and foremost, these unprecedented attacks, really, we're going nearly 1,300 days of this war. Russia has really stepped up its drone and missile attack, as I mentioned previously. But they have not attacked a nation outside of Ukraine. In this case, these drones, I think mistakenly, actually went into Poland, perhaps. But that would really cause a concern for not only Poland, but for the entire North Atlantic Treaty Organization and Alliance because of Article 5. If an adversary attacks a NATO member, that means really all 32 NATO members have been attacked and so forth. And it would be a much heightened, much more serious response, I think, would come from NATO. On that point, Charlie, what this recent incursion of these Russian drones have really compelled the NATO leaders to put into effect Article 4, which calls for, it's the really now consultations of all 32 member nations, and they're doing that as I speak right now to determine what their collective response will be.
Any response from President Trump so far?
None yet, although the White House has made a statement that they don't obviously condone these attacks at all. And the fact is that really what the most recent White House announcements have been against these, again, really wide-scale drone ballistic missile attacks, the most we've seen since the war over the last couple of weeks, and certainly over the weekend, over 820 combined drones and ballistic missiles attacking Ukrainian civilians, Manda, across several cities in Ukraine. Also, most recently last week, there was an attack that actually went into downtown Kyiv that hit a Ukrainian government building for the first time. So the escalation aspect of this is really what the White House is focused on.
Okay, Lou, General Newton, I have to ask you, because you probably have some subject matter expertise that you may or may not be able to share with us. But based on your experience with the B-2 program, there was some testimony in front of Congress yesterday with video that purports to show a Hellfire missile hitting some sort of UAP. I'm curious if you saw that and if you had any thoughts on it.
Yeah, I did, Charlie. The fact that certainly I've got B-2 bomber experience and B-1 and B-52 and other Air Force systems. First off, I really don't take to heart too much, videotape that I can't substantiate. In my 34-year career and 12 years hence, I've really not. I don't believe that there are these extraterrestrial, undocumented or unattributed vehicles out there. But I do know that there's a wide variety of capabilities that we have that sometimes are captured on video, or even from secondhand bystanders looking at all that. But I don't believe that this is something that is a concern that goes beyond what we are able to either think about or contemplate, from what we're able to design and deliver, our own capabilities. I'll kind of leave it at that. But in terms of this UAP and some of the hysteria behind it, I just don't put much stock in that.
All right. Lieutenant General Richard Newton from News Nation saying it's not an alien invasion. Thanks, General. Let's head over to Sully at the traffic desk.
We have cleared the street sweeper on northbound 405 just north of 44th. The right lane is open. All lanes are open. Still have over an hour, though, from Renton to Bellevue, a 25-minute delay. Spill over onto the Valley Freeway, trying to get better, but it's still 30 minutes from Auburn and still close to an hour from Puyallup. Over an hour, Federal Way to Seattle. Well over an hour from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, and we have brake lights in the usual places. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, we'll see some sunshine by afternoon if you're not already. A high today of 73. It's 58 right now.
And the Seahawks season underway. We want to send you and 3 friends to watch the game on September 25th. Open the KIRO Newsradio app right now and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't have the app, simply text app, APP, to 888-973-5476. We'll send you a link, and you can enter every day to increase your chances to win. This runs through the 15th.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
If you're thinking about renovating an attic, spending more time in your sunroom, or building onto your home, a Carrier ductless unit is the perfect solution for climate control. It's efficient, quiet, and incredibly flexible when it comes to installation because there's no ductwork required. It's just one more way we're making your home totally comfortable.
Your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer will improve your home's comfort, air quality, and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find the expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
When the weather changes, your home shouldn't be the one left unprepared. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. We offer the strongest solutions in roofing, siding, decking, windows, and gutters, made for the Pacific Northwest. And right now, get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months or up to $3,000 off your next project. No gimmicks, no stress, just reliability you can count on. Visit stateroofing.com or call 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule your free estimate today.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
I'm Captain John Kelly with the Salvation Army. The Seattle Addiction Recovery Program helps men break free from addiction at no cost to them through physical, emotional, and spiritual growth. That's why our success rate is nearly 4 times the national average. While participants pay nothing, it costs the Salvation Army about $10,000 to help one person graduate into recovery. Want to help? Join us for the Red Shield Classic Golf Tournament, September 11th at Echo Falls. Register or donate at tsaredshieldclassic.org. Together, we can change lives.
Bathfitter just hit a big milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. Celebrate with payments as low as $125 a month. A beautiful bath installed in one day, no mess, and a lifetime warranty. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com today.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Russia has accused Poland of spreading myths and lacking evidence after the U.S. ally downed several Russian drones that breached its airspace in an attack targeting Ukraine. Poland calls it an act of aggression. CBS's Ramy Inocencio.
Poland's prime minister is mincing no words. Donald Tusk saying that his country is now at its closest to open conflict ever since World War II. And reminder, NATO was established back in 1949, and he says this is a clear provocation. Poland is now assessing the damage. Poland's Interior Ministry says that it found at least 7 drones.
President Trump said he was not thrilled by Israel's military strike in Qatar targeting Hamas leaders. Moira Alderson of our partners at the BBC.
Reports in the Israeli media say top Israeli defense officials are increasingly doubtful Hamas leaders were killed in the strike, targeting them in the Qatari capital Doha on Tuesday. Hamas itself has said that lower-level members were killed, but not the leadership. It's offered no proof of this so far.
Well, a new government report has President Trump posting no inflation. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
The monthly number fell by 0.1%. So what that means is producer prices, what it costs to produce the goods that you and I buy, actually fell. It is very rare that you see that. But the annual number, we were expecting 3.3%. It came down to 2.6%. So still a very big improvement. But it does mean that we are above that 2% that the Fed is looking for.
Well, CBS's Adriana Diaz tells us former Vice President Harris has written about the 2024 presidential campaign with sharp words about the initial call to have Joe Biden seek re-election.
The book, 107 Days, is the story of her presidential campaign against Donald Trump after President Joe Biden's sudden decision to pull out of the race. Harris has some very sharp words about that. Quote, "It's Joe and Jill's decision. We all said that like a mantra, as if we'd been hypnotized. Was it grace or was it recklessness? In retrospect, I think it was recklessness."
Well, news is just out on the impact of human-caused climate change on heat waves over the past 25 years. CBS's Tracy Wolf.
Researchers determined that the emissions associated with 180 of the largest producers of fossil fuels and cement contributed significantly to climate change that made the heat waves worse. In fact, 14 of those companies, including ExxonMobil and Saudi Aramco, have made the same contribution to climate change as the other 166 combined.
And checking Wall Street, Dow Jones Industrial Average up 230, or down 230, that is. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today.
It's been a tough morning on the road. Sully is at the traffic desk.
Yeah, and it continues to be so, especially for those of you on 405 northbound trying to crawl your way through Renton. You might be able to walk faster, actually, to get through parts of the S-curves. But we had a conked-out street sweeper blocking the right lane up past 44th that has only been gone for about 10 minutes. So we've got about an hour and 10-minute trip from Renton to Bellevue. That's about 20 minutes slower than it should be at this time of day. Spill over onto the Valley freeways trying to get better. We've actually picked up a few minutes. It's only 30 minutes from Auburn and about an hour all the way from Puyallup. So behind schedule certainly there as well. Federal Way to Seattle about an hour and 15 minutes now with 40 plus from South Center. Really struggling from before the Boeing Access Road up all the way into downtown. Coming down from the north end, we're looking at an hour and 10 to an hour and 15 minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Lake Bridges, I-90 starting to get into the act a little bit, plan on some braking across the lake. This report brought to you by Washington 811. If you're digging in your yard, the law requires you to call 811. To avoid dangerous and costly damage, call 811 or submit online, digsafewa.com.
8:04 Wednesday morning, September 10th, 2025. This is Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
In spite of civil rights concerns voiced by critics of Seattle's crime-fighting surveillance cameras, City Council members have now voted 7-2 to expand the program.
And we get the update now from KIRO Newsradio's Corwin Hake.
Charlie and Manda, the full council passed two measures that expand installation of CCTV cameras into three new neighborhoods, the Broadway Pine area, the Soto Stadium District, and also near Garfield High School. This is after members of the public spent hours yesterday afternoon telling council members the federal government could use the footage to target vulnerable populations.
Federal authorities currently use these tools to surveil those who are immigrants and those seeking gender-affirming care and violate their rights to privacy.
That's Rachel Snell. Councilmember Rob Saka says he hears those concerns and is convinced there are adequate safeguards in place.
Under no circumstances will we be sharing this information for those seeking gender-affirming care, those seeking reproductive care, or for immigration enforcement purposes.
Now, critics also complain this pilot program is expanding prematurely. It comes while a study is currently evaluating the program's effectiveness. Charlie, Manda.
Thanks for keeping us updated, Corwin. It's 8:05 now. It's been 2 years since Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell launched his downtown reactivation plan.
Yesterday, he highlighted some of the accomplishments made in that time, including, he says, a 51% decrease in tent encampments in District 2 and 7, which include neighborhoods like the CID and Belltown, among others.
Does that mean that our administration and the city of Seattle are running around the blocks and taking victory laps? Of course not.
Harrell's opponent for mayor, Katie Wilson, released a statement that reads in part, quote, Bruce Harrell promised 2,000 new shelter units in 2021, but Seattle's shelter capacity has decreased every year he's been in office. She goes on to say his sweeps have increased suffering and disorder. More people are living and dying on the streets than ever before.
This comes as Wilson is facing backlash over a disputed endorsement in the mayoral race. Civil rights activist Claude Burfect tells Frontlines he never endorsed her. Wilson's campaign posted a photo of Burfect with the word endorsed on it, but Burfect says she used him to boost her image and called her dishonest. Wilson insists Burfect did endorse her over the phone and confirmed it by email.
A major shakeup in Everett's District 4 council race. The Center Square reports a judge just pulled Nico Battle, the top vote getter in the primary, off the general election ballot. The ruling came after a challenge from resident John Demas, who questioned whether Battle actually lives in the district. The judge said there's no evidence Battle has a residence there. Battle had won more than 42% of the vote. Now Alan Rubio and Luis Burbano will appear on the ballot.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Oh, there's goes gravity. If I'd said that better, I think we would have had more of a laugh.
Sorry.
Okay, take 2, 3, 2. There goes gravity.
Okay. Say Mom Spaghetti. That's funny.
Okay, yeah, that's a better line. Hi, Amanda. Welcome
Hello.
back.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
This is Seattle's Morning News, the September 10th edition. I'm Charlie Harger. That is Manda Factor. Sully's in the studio, along with producer David Burbank. Jillian Raftery is filling in for Katrina today. Corwin Hake is filling in for Luke Burbank. And, of course, we have Nick Krasia picking the music and running the board.
And doing so with aplomb. Well, don't look now. The Mariners are just a game back for the lead in the division again.
Yeah, that is so exciting. It feels like we do this every September.
We do. That's why it feels like it.
But it was a fun game to watch last night. Well, coming up in this hour of the show, we're going to hear from News Nation's Joe Khalil. He will talk about that congressional hearing yesterday surrounding UFOs/UAPs. Some fascinating testimony and evidence provided in that hearing. Joe will break some of it down for us.
Former State Attorney General Rob McKenna will explain the latest Supreme Court decision regarding immigration enforcement and how it could impact Washington State.
And at 8:45, Angela Poe Russell will stop by to weigh in on the possibility of autonomous Waymo vehicles coming to Seattle.
It's 8:09. Tacoma police are searching for 7-year-old Skylar Doty. They say Skylar is on the autism spectrum, but he's very social and friendly. He was last seen about 8 o'clock last night in downtown Tacoma. He's white, so brown hair, wearing a green camo T-shirt, blue jeans, and black sneakers. If you've seen Skylar or know where he might be, please call 911. We do have a picture of him on our website, mynorthwest.com.
Yeah, that is super concerning. This is a 7-year-old who is missing, and I just checked on Tacoma police. They still have not found him, so keep an eye out for him. Sleeping in his store could not protect the owner of a Greenwood tobacco shop from suffering a second smash-and-grab robbery in 48 hours.
Zane is the owner of Exhale Tobacco on 85th.
So my brother was up and I was sleeping, and same guys, I believe, and 3 cars came, and
for the second time, robbers smashed a car into the business to gain entry early Monday and again this morning.
Also near Woodinville, deputies and police are investigating another smash and grab. This is at the Euphoria marijuana shop. According to Como TV, this same shop was also hit back on August 25th.
A woman in Kirkland says she was stabbed by a man she had just reported to police. KIRO 7 TV reports the attack happened late at night, September 4th, at the Kirkland Heights apartments. The 78-year-old mother died at Harborview. Police say the suspect had blood on his clothes and car when they found him. Prosecutors say the stabbing came hours after the woman reported a sexual assault. The man now faces murder and attempted murder charges. They're asking for $10 million bail.
Federal prosecutors say a violent prison gang is trying to expand in Washington, and 3 of its leaders just got long sentences. The U.S. Attorney's Office says the men helped La Nuestra Familia run guns, drugs, and money laundering operations across the state. One ran gang activity from inside a juvenile facility. Another oversaw finances from prison. Gang is known for recruiting juveniles and demanding loyalty through violence. Prosecutors say they're working to stop the group from taking root here.
A Seattle man found behind the wheel of a crashed car with a gun in his jacket and is headed to prison.
42-year-old Keenan DeJuan Brown was arrested in October of 2023 after he'd crashed a car into a tree. In his jacket, a Glock 19 with an extended magazine and one round chambered in the gun. His prior record includes convictions for weapons charges and domestic violence assaults. This past February, he pleaded guilty to a federal charge of unlawful possession of a firearm. He's now headed to prison for 4.5 years. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Dramatic comeback for the Seattle Storm. A 1-point win over Golden State earns them the final playoff spot.
Back to Wheeler, catch and shoot three, and she knocks another one down! Erica Wheeler!
That is from the team's X account. They are taking a victory lap to celebrate their 20th postseason appearance.
Way to go. That's awesome.
Yeah, let's go Storm.
It's 8:12. Time for a check on the weather now. It's brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. And here's KIRO 7's Nick Allard.
Some low clouds and a little bit of fog this morning, then sunshine. Looks like a beautiful day. Highs will go in the low to mid-70s around Seattle, mid-70s or so in Tacoma and Olympia. Say about 76 for Olympia and about 74, 75 in Tacoma. Nice day. Tomorrow, low cloud, same thing on Friday. You'll look for them to be pretty widespread, may have some drizzle, may have some mist, and then we see sun in the afternoon in the low 70s. Saturday, we warm it back up again to the mid 70s, and then I expect to see some potential showers, not many, but a few showers possible on Sunday, and highs in the upper 60s and low 70s.
We are seeing some sunshine in Seattle, just a few clouds and 58 degrees.
Time to check traffic. Sully is watching the roads on this busy Wednesday morning.
And we have picked up the pace on northbound 405 after that long-term stall we had up north of 44th between Renton and Bellevue. So actually a 10-minute improvement, 50 minutes from Renton to Bellevue, which is still 10 minutes slower than normal, but up not too long ago we were running 30 minutes behind. Either way, you're still not really moving all that fast through the Renton S-curves at this point, but we're getting better. Where it's not getting better is northbound 167. We're really backed up from 212th and Kent all the way up through and connecting with 405. We're back up over 35 minutes from Auburn to Renton with an hour all the way from the Puyallup area. So that's about 15 minutes slower than it might be at this time of day total. Federal Way to Seattle, about an hour and 15-minute trip with 45 of those minutes now from South Center. Those last couple of miles are really slow today. 509 and 99 also caught up, so if those are your normal go-to alternate routes, they aren't going to be much faster. Olympia to Tacoma, though, is cleared out nicely, and most of Pierce County is yellow, which means you're moving along a little bit faster than maybe you might have anticipated. Coming down from the north end, a pretty good drive all the way down from Arlington through Marysville. It's away from Linwood, though, where it's still the heaviest. About an hour and 5 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. 522 looks normal. 204 down out of Lake Stevens, a little heavy but manageable. Across the lake, we're starting to see a little bit more action on westbound 90 through from Bellevue over to Seattle. But overall, about 22 minutes on that drive isn't bad. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
It's now 8:14. More than 30 Seattle artists are taking their music off Spotify. These are small artists and producers who are trying to protest the use of AI, and Jillian Raftery is here to explain.
Thank you. They say Spotify is ignoring major issues with artificial intelligence, which is pushing out music made by real people. For example, take a listen to this. Would you believe that is made by AI? It's by a group called Velvet. It's hard to tell. It's a group called Velvet Sundown. They released 2 albums and started dominating many users' feeds before they were outed as a synthetic music project. Words they used.
Synthetic music project.
Driven entirely by generative AI. Music blogs have also highlighted artists who are dead but had new music added to their profiles. These are verified profiles. And that music ended up being fake. Many artists complain their work has been used to actually train AI that is now edging them out and taking what little money streaming services pay out. So be careful what you listen to and tip your artists on the way out.
Yeah, but what are they going to do when the aliens start putting music on Spotify?
At least that will be real alien music.
Okay.
Who says they aren't already?
It's 8:15.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Oh, I meant to say that. You know where Ace Frehley's from. He's from the stars. We all know that.
All right. It is 8:16. Speaking of aliens, it's being called a historic hearing that took place yesterday in front of a House subcommittee on Capitol Hill, centered around UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena. Government disclosure and protection of whistleblowers.
And covering the hearing for News Nation is Washington, D.C. correspondent Joe Khalil, who joins us now. Joe, we spoke yesterday morning. There was word this could be potentially historic. And boy, this is certainly getting a lot of attention, especially that video.
Yeah, there was a lot there, guys. Good to be with you again. I didn't know. We had some idea about what we were going to see, but what we were gauging is the impact that it might have on the public. And yeah, there's been a lot of reaction. This video first, never before seen. And Congressman Burleson, who's been out front on the UAP issue, introduced it. It basically shows, in his viewing of this, there's some kind of aircraft, and it's caught on a radar camera from a drone over the coast of Yemen somewhere. You can see it over the ocean. And what it purports to show is a hitting this thing as the air and really having almost no impact. You would expect if a Hellfire missile hits an aircraft in the air, big explosion, the thing falls into the water. If you watch the video, you see the missile kind of hit it, and then it sort of bounces off. And the thing, there are like 2 or 3 little parts of it that break off, but all of those, the little parts and the actual craft itself, seem to continue to just fly as normal. And then it like sort of zooms out, and you can see it continuing to go. So the big caveat here, I'm not a video forensic, expert in a way, but it was something that Burleson said had been dead dropped to him anonymously. And these videos are within the possession of the Pentagon. Many of them, it was the first time that we saw something like that at the hearing, and it was just a pretty compelling, piece of tape.
I've now watched it about 100 times. It is very interesting. What was the reaction in the room when they showed it?
You could hear kind of a gasp in the room. Again, these are people who are usually familiar with the topic. Many people who were in the audience there, they've been studying the topic for years. These are people who are in the Department of Defense. These are veterans. And so for them to have that reaction, I think was pretty interesting. And I mean, the reactions we saw generally to the witnesses, too. I mean, we had, as we mentioned yesterday, 2 veterans, but 1 active duty naval petty chief officer who is still currently in that role. And he was testifying about, experiences that he had on his naval ship off the coast of Southern California, seeing 4 particular craft, one of which came out of the water. And it was like something he couldn't explain. And, he reported these things, as did the others. Hearing those people with their sort of caliber, and level of trust describe these things, I think that's really impactful too.
And Joe, bring us just a little bit behind the scenes, because you are a person, this wasn't even in your wheelhouse until basically you covered the first such hearing like this. So can you maybe just talk about what you have learned over covering these past hearings and where we are today?
Yeah, I mean, I was not an alien enthusiast by any means. I cover Congress. That's what I do. I cover lawmaking and the body. And, 2 years ago, the whistleblowers came forward on News Nation first and basically alleged, that the government not only had recovered aircraft that they didn't know where it came from, but that there was an effort to reverse engineer those kinds of aircraft. And so Congress got a hold of it, and that became part of my job, to cover how they were handling these kinds of whistleblowers. I mean, since then, again, I'm not somebody who you can put in the category of full, true believer in extraterrestrial life. I don't think there's enough evidence right now to conclude anything like that. But what I think I have an understanding of now is it's no longer just conjecture that the Pentagon, the DOD, they are aware that there are aircraft in our skies, in our waterways, that move in ways they cannot explain with our capabilities. That advanced technology that is hundreds of years seemingly more advanced than what we are capable of producing. It exists and it's there, and we see it and we record it, and members of the military and all kinds of branches have experiences seeing those things, and they report them. That is no longer, again, conjecture. That is facts. That is proven. We have evidence of all of that. Now, the big question is, what are these things? Where do they come from? Are they an adversary? Is it China? There are still some theories about, well, maybe it's CIA technology, and even the top levels of the military don't know about it. Those kinds of theories, I think, have largely been dismissed. But, it's what are these things? And figuring out the answer to that question is a national security priority. And that's why this topic is so important. So when you approach it from that way, it could be all kinds of things. And you don't want to rule things out. You don't want to jump to conclusions. But that's, I think, why Congress has now taken this issue seriously. And what's really changed is the questions that members of Congress are asking. They're no longer dismissing this as silly. They're asking very real questions to these experts now, and I think that's the biggest change I've seen in the last 2 years.
I was going to say, a couple of years ago, we all kind of chuckled when the first hearing was about to happen.
Yeah.
Is there any indication now that there will be hearings in the near future?
I'm not sure when the next one might be. There's certainly a willingness. What members want to do is get into these classified SCIF settings and, try that way to get whatever information they can, because sometimes things that they want to know, there's a classification level. The witnesses can't just say them out loud in public. So that is kind of where they want to go next. Is they're always trying to get more of that private, behind closed doors stuff. And in terms of public hearings, I think it may be, it was a year ago they had the last one, so it may be quite some time before we see something like this again.
We have a House Armed Services Committee member, Adam Smith, who's on this show occasionally. What kind of questions should we be asking him, Joe? If you were in a room with him and he were an open book, what would you be asking him?
Coincidentally, I was in a room with him, and I did ask him some questions related to the topic. He has told me that, effectively, he's not really somebody who is following this topic particularly closely. It may just be a matter of there are things he can talk about and things he cannot talk about, because he is the top-ranking Democrat on the Armed Services Committee. You would imagine that, a national security question like that would be in his purview. So I would ask him, what he makes of these kinds of videos that come forward, that whistleblowers bring forward, what he makes of the stories, the firsthand accounts of people who were, again, very highly trusted, not just top intelligence officials that, we trust with top security clearances, but just with these, a naval senior petty chief, right, who is somebody that has worked hard to earn that rank. And he comes forward with a story like this, that he saw these 4 craft and he can't explain how they're moving, but he witnessed them. And they're right above they're right above our naval ships. You would imagine that somebody like the congressman would have a serious interest in figuring out what's going on there, right? So yeah, I would ask him, again, if I could, those kinds of questions, and maybe I'll run into him today.
If you don't, we'll ask him next time he's on Seattle's Morning News. Joe, thanks so much for your time this morning. Washington, D.C. correspondent Joe Khalil.
Let's head over to Sully with traffic.
And we are looking at a pretty heavy drive, but nothing super out of the ordinary on this Wednesday. Biggest drive problem is northbound 405. We're now backed up from basically South Center up past 167, up into the 44th area. We had a disabled vehicle up there for the longest time, up over 50 minutes still from Renton to Bellevue. Behind that, 35 minutes from Auburn to Renton, even though we're breaking up in Auburn, which is great. Still about an hour to go from Puyallup to Renton. Most of Pierce County is cleared out, but Federal Way to Seattle running about an hour and 15 with 45 of those minutes from South Center, and we're still struggling out of Linwood. We have hour drives from Linwood to Seattle, Linwood to Bellevue, hour and 20 all the way. This report brought to you by Superior Linen Service. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service will help your company look good with uniformed, logoed apparel, floor mats, and more. SUPLinen.com.
This hour is brought to you by WaFed Bank. The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO Newsradio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker. This is a test of your emergency alert system.
This is a test, only a test, of the emergency alert system from the Snohomish County Department of Emergency Management. Had this been an actual alert, this system would bring you important information.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Hi, it's Dave Ross, and if you have joint pain, I think this will interest you. Wednesday, September 17th, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
What joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, so if you're in pain, join the free live stem cell webinar Wednesday, September 17th at 6 p.m. to learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
After 35 years in the window industry, I know choosing the right team for your window or door project is a big decision. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Treating your home with care while offering top quality products is important to me. Our windows are 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards, reduce noise by up to 50%, and feature low maintenance clean glass technology. Combined with our leading leak armor installation and lifetime warranty, you get protection for life. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
Summer can be the best time of the year, but if it's not feeling good in your house, if it's turning into an oven, some of the problems might be because you don't have enough insulation in your crawl space or attic. In fact, many homes in our region have damaged insulation or even none at all. Yeah, it's Mike Salk here, and you got to get somebody to check on it. That's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and do a full corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and attic. And if it turns out that you've got a problem with your insulation, and maybe that's leading to bigger energy bills, guess what? Local utility companies have special incentives to help with the cost of getting your house properly insulated. In fact, if you're a PSC customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to get your attic properly insulated. Yep, 95%. Call Crawl Pros if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation. I'm here with good news. Guardian has flexible financing options. With Guardian's acclaimed services, you can upgrade or repair your roof, gutters, and insulation. Call to hear about our flexible financing options or visit GuardianRoofing.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 8:31. For the second time in just 48 hours, a Greenwood shop owner has been victimized by robbers who gained entry by smashing a car into the business.
And another smash and grab this morning targeted an East Side store. We have details on both from KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake.
And let's start with the now 2 attacks in Greenwood. It was just overnight Monday. Robbers crashed cars into Exhale Tobacco near 85th and Greenwood. Owner Zane Olavid-Een believes the same robbers returned today around 3 a.m. Zane and his brother were staying overnight inside the store because of the previous break-in, and this time Zane was armed.
3 cars came. They used 1 car to break it, and soon they broke the door and everything, and we ran outside, and I shot 4 times.
He says the robbers ran away after that. Olavid-Een does not think he hit anyone, and despite his act of self-defense, he's worried the same crew will come back.
I don't know what to do, how to stop these guys.
These guys do come back. Also this morning, staff at a marijuana shop in Woodinville tell us this morning they suffered their 4th smash and grab break-in in the past 2 weeks. Solina at Euphorium tells me 3 cars smashed their way into the store overnight, filling bags with products. She says all 3 previous break-ins were also car smashes, the most recent of them just last Saturday. Charlie, Manda?
Appreciate the update. Tacoma police are searching for 7-year-old Skylar Doty.
They say Skylar is on the autism spectrum, but he's very social and friendly. He was last seen about 8 o'clock last night in downtown Tacoma. He has a white boy with brown hair wearing a green camo T-shirt, blue jeans, and black sneakers. If you think you've seen Skylar or know where he might be, please call 911. You can see a picture of him on our website, mynorthwest.com.
It's 8:33 now, and Chris Sullivan has been at the traffic desk all morning long and saying real busy.
Yeah, it's been a pretty tough commute. We've had a couple of well-placed construction projects and some stalls. Right now, we're running reasonably accident and stall-free, which is good, but we're still in recovery mode. We've got a rented to Bellevue drive of about 50 minutes, so about 8 minutes slower than normal. We had a long-term stall up past the construction zone, actually kind of in the middle of it, up towards Coal Creek Parkway. The spillover onto the Valley Freeway has been pretty rugged today. It's still about 30 minutes out of Auburn, and most of that slowing is at the north end, 55 minutes all the way from the Puyallup area. Running at 50 minutes now from South Center into downtown. Really heavy day on I-5 northbound, hour and 15 all the way, so about 10 minutes slower than you might expect. Everett to Seattle, Everett to Bellevue are both well over an hour and 15 minutes now. Dave is out driving over the top of Tiger Mountain, eastbound 18. It's a little slow all the way down towards the Raging River. We had a stall in the westbound direction up there earlier. Across the lake, we're definitely seeing the westbound slowing on both lake bridges. You're going to need about 25 minutes to get across at this point this morning. This report brought to you by Wilcox Family Farms Eggs. Fresh food comes from local farms. Healthier eggs with 3 times the omega-3s. You should choose Wilcox omega-3 eggs at Costco, locally fresh since 1909.
It's going to be nice for the rest of the week. 73 in the sunshine this afternoon. For tomorrow and Friday, partly sunny. We'll see highs a little bit cooler, about 71. Next chance of showers comes in on Sunday morning with a high of 71. Right now in Seattle, sunny and 58.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
A decision from the Supreme Court Monday may make it easier for ICE agents in Los Angeles to take people into custody that they believe could be in the country illegally.
This is after a federal judge in California last month had prohibited immigration agents from making indiscriminate immigration-related stops in L.A. And joining us to break the decision, down the decision, is former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. Good morning, Rob. So let's start. What was this order and what was the argument behind it?
Well, we talked about this some weeks ago, and as you recall, this has to do with whether or not federal immigration law enforcement can stop people to question them. So we're not talking about arresting people. We are talking about stopping them, detaining them, and then later on they might be arrested. And the challengers to what was happening in Los Angeles argued that these stops were being based on someone's race, whether they were speaking Spanish or even accented English, whether they were at a particular location, such as day laborers or an agricultural site, or whether they were performing a particular type of work. And Judge Frimpong, a federal judge in the Los Angeles area, issued an order on July 11th saying that agents may not rely on several factors, whether individually or in combination with those other factors, in deciding to stop and question an individual in her district, which includes Los Angeles and the surrounding areas. The Ninth Circuit left her order largely in place while the litigation continues at the Ninth Circuit, so it's on appeal. But the U.S. government, Department of Justice, went to the Supreme Court in August and asked the justices to lift that temporary order, which they characterized as a straitjacket on law enforcement efforts.
So the Supreme Court decision that came down this week directly opposes that federal order. So what does the decision mean exactly?
Well, it means that for now, the federal district court judge Frimpong's order is not in effect, and immigration enforcement officers in Los Angeles can continue to stop people and question them based on any one of those factors alone or in combination: race, language, location, kind of work they're doing. And the Supreme Court, as they typically do in these shadow docket decisions, which involve emergency appeals and lifting or imposing temporary orders, didn't provide a full-blown opinion explaining their reasoning. But Justice Kavanaugh did provide his own written explanation for the court's ruling, and he argued that demographic realities justify the actions of ICE agents. He said, quote, about 10% of the people in the Los Angeles region are illegally in the United States, meaning about 2 million illegal immigrants out of a population of 20 million. The three liberal justices on the court, of course, strongly disagree with that reasoning and argue that Americans should not be stopped or seized by federal government officials because of how they look, the language they speak, or the fact they work in a low-wage job.
Rob, I just like to be plain-spoken, so let me phrase it this way. Does this ruling basically say if you look Mexican and you're speaking Spanish, that immigration authorities can use that as the only reason they need to question and interrogate you?
Yes. That's the way this appears to read. And that's what Judge Frimpong was trying to stop. The Department of Justice, Immigration Enforcement, believes that that is a reason to stop, detain people, ask them for ID, ask them for evidence of legal status, and that's the heart of the disagreement here.
Okay. Certainly well worth keeping an eye on. Former State AG Rob McKenna. Rob, it's great having you back on the show, and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much.
It's 8:39. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the 167 and 405 corridor. Really struggling there today. We'll break it down for you next.
The John Curley Show.
In-N-Out Burger, is that the ones with the old-fashioned 1950s hat on and stuff like that?
Weekdays 3 to 7.
They definitely used to. I don't know.
I think they still have that.
Yeah,
they're
probably.
incredibly courteous service. I noticed that as well.
Yeah, they're
second only to Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, those people are so kind. You could, while you're waiting in line, they baptize your child. Spay and neuter people. Dogs, anyway, yeah.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if
I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with XFi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
If you're thinking about renovating an attic, spending more time in your sunroom, or building onto your home, a Carrier ductless unit is the perfect solution for climate control. It's efficient, quiet, and incredibly flexible when it comes to installation because there's no ductwork required. It's just one more way we're making your home totally comfortable.
Your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer will improve your home's comfort, air quality, and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find the expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. Large numbers of orcas, humpbacks, and minke whales are busy feeding in the Salish Sea right now, according to naturalists at Puget Sound Express. In the past week alone, whale watchers spotted more than 14 different Biggs orca families. September is especially busy for humpback whales as they consume as much food as possible before continuing their migratory journeys. Naturalists report multiple instances of lunge feeding, where humpbacks dramatically unhinge their jaw to take large gulps of water at the surface, capturing fish like a fishing net. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These half-day tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of beautiful Port Townsend and Port Angeles on the Olympic Peninsula. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
8:43 now, and Chris Sullivan is at the traffic desk.
And we continue to struggle up the 405 corridor this morning. It's heavy from 167 all the way up. Past 44th, you get a little bit of a gap, and then you hit it at I-90. We had a long-term stall up there, and so we're still running right around 50 minutes from Renton to Bellevue. That's about a 10-minute delay behind it. Valley Freeway trying to get better. It has picked up the pace a little bit. We're back under a half an hour out of Auburn and back under 50 minutes from Puyallup. It really isn't too bad through Pierce County. However, getting there is a little slow. 410 on through Sumner still taking a little extra volume, and so it's pretty heavy there getting to 167. As I said, most of Pierce County is cleared out nicely. There is a little braking on northbound 5 in South Tacoma, but nothing too super significant. Federal Way to Seattle still running at about an elevated hour and 15-minute trip with 50 those minutes from South Center. So it's going to be very heavy from Boeing Field up through the downtown core. 509 and 99 are also kind of caught up into the yak. The Lake Bridge is definitely westbound, seeing the slowing now. 25 minutes on either bridge from Bellevue to Seattle. Brake lights begin just as you get over to the Seattle side of the water. Coming down from the north end, seeing the brake lights through the Alderwood Mall area on southbound 5, kind of extending off and on through Shoreline. And then the U District is pretty thick, about an hour and 5 minutes from Everett to Seattle. About an hour and 10 from Everett to Bellevue, brake lights through Canyon Park and through Kirkland as well. And we have cleared the stall that we had westbound on the trestle about midway across EB Island as you try to get over to the Everett side of things. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Lots of sunshine for the afternoon. We'll warm up to about 73 today. Tomorrow and Friday, partly sunny, 71 both days. On Saturday, it looks nice, mid-70s, and then showers on Sunday morning, cooling off to about 70 again. Right now in Seattle, sunshine and 58.
8:45 now. We have a sweet story here about a group of people helping others keep their pets out of shelters. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery joins us live.
People who are sick, disabled, elderly, or short of money often have to choose between taking care of themselves or their pets, and nobody wants to do that. Enter the Pet Project in Miami, Florida. Of course, lots of elderly people there. Volunteers there distribute a whopping 12,000 pounds of donated pet food a month. And they do so much more.
We keep pets in their homes with their families. We provide pet food. We provide wellness care, which includes flea and tick meds, annual vaccines, rabies shots.
That's Pet Project Executive Director Sue Martino. There's no equivalent program here in Washington, but the Seattle Humane Society does offer some help, like temporary foster care and a pet food bank. Definitely reach out if you are struggling.
Yeah, so many household expenses going up, and that includes what you're spending on your pets.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jillian. 8:45 now. Coming up, Angela Poe Russell stops by the show. Is Seattle ready for fully autonomous vehicles on the roads? We'll talk about it on Seattle's Morning News.
When I needed some work done on my roof, there was only one company to call, Valentine Roofing. Hey, it's Jake Skorheim, and when I needed my roof fixed, Valentine Roofing went the extra mile to get there fast. They got my roof looking like new again. The scheduling was seamless and easy. Even though I couldn't be there, they still got the job done and sent me all the details with a link to pictures and video from the service. And let me tell you, if your roof or gutters are not fall ready, if those asphalt shingles are cracking and breaking down from years of moss, which is what happened on my roof, if your gutters are sagging, clogged, or pulling away, you should do what I did and call Valentine Roofing. Don't trust your home to anyone else. Those leaves, needles, and branches will fall, and the rain will come. But fortunately, Valentine makes knocking out that fall checklist stress-free. They'll even insulate your attic and clean the exterior of your home. And with zero-down financing for most projects, you can get the work done now and pay over time. This fall, give your home the Valentine it deserves. Check them out online at valentineroof.com or call 206-ROOFING and get your free estimate today. That's 206-ROOFING.
DC politicians want to enact harmful credit card mandates that could take away your cash back and rewards points. Perks that stretch your budget and make life a little easier. Losing these benefits means less money for your family's everyday essentials like gas and groceries. The perks you rely on could disappear, leaving you with higher costs and fewer options. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
Switching bath soap from sandalwood to tropical essence? That's glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Tolling September 29th. Free Good to Go sticker pass at goodtogo509.com.
Let's talk seedless grapes. You know that white, cloudy stuff you see on grapes? That's not dust or dirt. It's called bloom. It just means those grapes haven't been handled too much before you pop them in your mouth. I'm Joe at Town & Country Markets. You'll love every bite.
KIRO Newsradio has your chance to win 4 tickets to the Seahawks game on Sunday, September 21st. Head to the KIRO Newsradio app, click the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter through the KIRO Newsradio app, the better your odds will be. So do it every day, September 9th through September 15th. Details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win. From the station where the 12s hear the Hawks, KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's Morning News.
8:49 now, and joining us, filling in on the G and Ursula show, is Angela Poe Russell. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Manda. Dave, so good to be with you.
It is great to have you here, and we want to talk with you about Waymo. These are the autonomous taxi vehicles.
We warned you.
San Francisco, L.A., and they may be coming here. I hear you have some thoughts.
Yes, they've been spotted at various places in the cities. I think this is a game changer and something I am super excited about. And, since G, I know, comes on here a lot and he loves to use his analogies.
Yeah.
I'll just try to do my best with one. But this is like a beautiful new baby that still has a lot of growing up to do.
Yeah.
And they're going to make some mistakes, but lots of potential. And I'm going to tell you number one reason why I'm excited. Because I was heading to the MS Walk in Mount Vernon this weekend, and on my way, I spotted at least 3 human drivers literally with their phones on the, it was disturbing. It made me afraid. Waymo, they're not texting.
They're not texting, but, right now they have the human drivers who are there to grab the wheel. But at some point, this is just going to be a robot car, nobody inside. That doesn't concern you at all?
We have, if you go to Duke University and several universities across the country, they've been working really hard on automating airplanes. We already are almost there. So if we're doing it, I get it's not the same as Frog or Seattle where you're navigating bike lanes and streetcars and everything. But if it can manage aviation and airstrikes, why not on the roads? And by the way, I just have to interject because Sully is looking at me like, nope.
He's
nope.
patiently
so I just want you to jump in.
Stupidest idea. You know what mistakes equal? Deaths.
Yeah.
And I don't want them testing unproven technology that can't tell the difference between a child walking across the street or people, it's just untested. No, forget it. There's no way that any algorithm can do anything to prepare itself for Seattle or any urban core where people walk out of nowhere, not paying attention. Cars, buses, bicyclists. There's no way in hell I want these things anywhere near a street until they're 100% foolproof.
In fairness, they've been tested. They've been testing them for years.
And we've seen the testing, haven't we? In the school zone in San Francisco. Bam. Bam, bam, bam. 10 kids in a row run over by Teslas that could not see the child who came out from outside a car. No way.
Sully, to be fair, and as Angela kind of mentioned in the beginning, people. You talk about human error. People
I get
constantly on their phones,
there
constantly distracted.
There are a lot of people who shouldn't be driving
drunk,
either.
under the influence of drugs. Like, there are a lot of factors that are humanly controlled that are reasons why people are getting into accidents. And if you take that out, yes, I understand the testing itself can be dangerous. But I think there is an argument for kind of eliminating those human factors.
Yeah, you do it in your neighborhood. No, they're just the technology is not even close.
Yeah, I will tell you this. I want to validate how you're feeling because, and I think my view. I think you're partly right on this. Because I did have an engineer tell me that whenever, like historically, you develop any new technology, she's like, there are going to be deaths. You look at when the airplane first started and the number of people who died as, airplanes were being developed. So the question is this a worthy pursuit?
Oh, worthy.
The consequences, the
Certainly.
potential initial hiccups.
As a traffic guy, worthy. Just don't put them on the road till they're ready. They're not ready. Not even close. You talk to many engineers, they're not ready.
And there's this rush. You feel like there's a rush to do it. Yeah. Well, I do know the National, it's Highway Traffic and Safety Administration. They are at a point of requiring crash data, but it is still, to Sully's point, we don't have a lot of good data yet. Waymo has submitted their own findings when they worked with their insurance company. The National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration now requiring it, but we still don't have a lot of studies, so we're not there. But I want us to think of the possibilities, though. Think about the improve safety down the road.
Yep.
I also think about if we eventually can have our own driverless cars that we own, not just in the Uber style, people who have vision issues that can't drive. I mean, all kinds of possibilities and accessibility issues can be solved with automation. I do worry, just like AI, about the elimination of jobs.
Yeah. This is all coming on a day. We're also talking about the fact you can hail an Uber helicopter here soon.
I'm with Charlie here. He's like,
Yeah.
no,
Heck no.
no,
Hail no.
no. Pamela and Black Diamond's like, I'm with Sully. Where do you want them to test it?
In a track in the middle of nowhere.
I think they've done that. I mean, they've been.
Then when you have to do it with some sort of robot, obstacle courses, things that happen in real time. By the way, we also saw how well those Waymos work really well during the riots. Give those to our protesters here, and we'll see how well they do. They just put them down, and they stopped them in the middle of the street, and they just created roadblocks. Not ready.
Angela Poe Russell will be joining us on the G and Ursula Show coming up. To be continued. Good conversation.
Yep, right.
Time to check in with Sully, the traffic desk.
And I think those were 3 hell no's somewhere in the middle of
this
conversation.
Hail.
Well, yeah, mines were not H-A-I-L. Looking at the drive now across the lake, we're up to 30 minutes to get there from Bellevue to Seattle. Heavy brake lights now in both directions, on both bridges, actually. Renton to Bellevue still up over 50 minutes, and it's about a 45-minute trip now up the valley. 50 minutes to an hour now from South Center to downtown, behind schedule by about 15. And coming down from the north end, still about an hour from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Nice Day on the way. We're going to see mostly sunny skies by afternoon and 73.
Chance to win Seahawks tickets. Go to the KIRO Newsradio app and click Win. And you can have a chance to enter to win. Enter daily for your chances to win. The contest runs through the 15th. And if you don't have the app, simply text app to 888-973-5476.
What does it take to get justice for a man paralyzed after a cycling accident? Thousands of documents reviewed, hundreds of thousands of dollars paid for experts and investigations, and over 6 years of hard-fought litigation fighting all the way to the Washington State Supreme Court. Because when King County said he deserved nothing, we proved he deserved better. $10 million better.
Everything that could be done was being done to help us.
Chris did a great job. Call Davis Law Group today at 206-888-8888.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Your time is money. So why are you wasting it stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds? Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, Brock Heward here. Taking the First Mark Insurance Challenge could save your family a lot of money. It saved us thousands. First Mark works for you. Search in the carriers for lower rates and better coverage. If that sounds smart, go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
KIRO FM.